ever feel like no matter how hard you're working on your online business, you're just running in circles? And the next day, you will feel very excited, and then you take action, and then the next day you feel like everything is not working, right? You feel totally confused. This is what you call a scarcity loop. It is totally normal, especially when you just started in your online business, or you've been running and then nothing is, you just keep on procrastinating, overthinking, and all that stuff. So I'm going to show you the 7 signs of this scarcity loop and how to break free so you can run your online business with clarity and confidence. All right? Last year, I was overthinking every move, stuck in fear, and my electricity even get cut off. And that was crazy. I have 8 kids, and my wife has lupus, and I just started with this online business, and everything was just failing, right? I couldn't pay my bills until my electricity got cut off. Then I did one move. I switched my scarcity identity. I rewired my mindset, and things changed, right? I've been able to make my first 10K online in 4 months time when I just get started while I was struggling. But just with this reset, and it changed everything, right? It's not just about strategy, it was really pure about the identity. And from there on, the strategy actually just came after I switched my identity. So if I can do this, right, why not you? Sign number 1 is constant overthinking. You plan, you analyze, you research, but you're not taking any action. You consistently overthink, right? And the problem with overthinking, it has nothing to do about the reality. It operates from fear. It's just because of fear, right? And if you observe about what you are thinking from your thoughts, most of what you are thinking, 95% of it are not true. It's just because of fear. This fear creates different excuses, different scenarios running in your mind and preventing you to take action. So that is a number 1 sign of a scarcity loop. Number 2 is fear of judgment. You care more about what people will think about you instead of you moving forward. And this sign is very common as well, because you constantly think that people are judging you and they think that you're not good enough and all those negative stuff, which again is not true. It all operates from scarcity. It all operates from fear. It all operates from anxiety. So that is being created, that you think that people will judge you, but in reality, if you go out there, you will see that you will be surprised, right? If you provide value, if you share your experience, right? People who actually didn't start from their online business, for example, you are already a step ahead, and you don't realize if you move forward that you are actually providing value. So watch out to this number 2, okay? Sign number 3 is comparison addiction. You keep on scrolling on the internet, and you will see people who is actually being very successful, right? So you keep on comparing, but instead of you are being inspired, it's deflating you, right? It demotivates you. But the problem here is when you do a comparison, you compare to somebody who has already been in the game for 4 years or 5 years. They have all the experience already, and then you just started, and you're gonna compare to somebody who is on that stage. You are just making yourself you're just self-torturing yourself. It's an unfair comparison that comes again also from a scarcity loop. So don't compare, focus on yourself, focus on your wins, and just move on, okay? Sign number 4 is procrastinating and disguised as preparing, right? So what happens is you will tell yourself you're waiting, you're preparing, you're planning, but all of those are just excuses, because in reality you will learn more while you're taking action. The process that you are already moving on, the process of the experience that you are in your business, in your journey, is where you actually learn more. So you cannot prepare anything if you don't know what to prepare, right? Because what will happen is just an excuse that you think when you're preparing, you're planning, you think you're doing something productive. But in reality, if you don't take action, nothing is productive. So keep that in mind. If you have this procrastinating, you're planning, you're waiting for clarity, you think that you need to be ready, you're always ready, right? If you're not taking action, right, there's nothing to prepare, right? It's all about taking action, and from there you are going to learn, and that's actually how you progress. So productivity is on taking action and not from planning. Planning without taking action is useless. Okay, so that's sign number 4. Procrastinating disguised on preparing. Sign number 5 is ghosting when fear kicks in, right? And this is another thing. What happens is, if you feel fear, it's just a feeling, right? It doesn't have to be true. It appears in your consciousness, it appears on you, right? But if you follow that fear, what you do is you then find an excuse to say, I'm gonna watch Netflix, or you're gonna keep on scrolling on different on the social media. You're gonna watch something funny, something entertainment, just to cover up that fear, and then you ghost your business, right? So this is another sign of scarcity loop, right? So if you have that fear in your business and you just start ghosting, obviously it's from a scarcity loop which you need to eliminate. So if you have that, keep in mind, eliminate it. Right? Sign number 6 is money scarcity. You are afraid to invest in yourself, and then you're wondering why you're not getting result. If you see all those successful people, they all invest, even though they are already making money, they still keep on investing, because investing on something for yourself, you are going to gain knowledge, skills, and this knowledge and skills you can never unlearn. This is priceless, because that will be your money making machine, your skills, right? So if you have that scarcity on investing, for example, when I just started, when I just started, I actually just went on freebies, YouTube videos and all that stuff, and it just overwhelmed me. It just burned me out, because I was working, right? I was working full time. I have 8 kids, and it just burned me out. And I got sick and tired, right? So I found this program, and I see this program has 100% commission. It gets direct pay, and I see a lot of value because there's coaching included. I skipped my rent. I invested, and I'm telling you, that was the best decision in my life, because just after 4 months time, I made $10,000 just after investing. I invested one time $900. I made my first 600 sale after 3 weeks, and then boom. That's how I actually, just by investing, I learned the skill, and then I made over 30K in a year as a newbie, right? So that is an investment, of one-time investment, and the return I had was $30,000. And it's not about just the money, but the skill that I have learned inside this program. It is a game changer. I'm gonna explain you what program is that on the end of the video. Okay, so investing in yourself is very important. So if you have this money scarcity, and then you expect, and you're wondering why you're not getting result, it's because of that. Okay, so that's sign number 6. And finally, sign number 7, feeling invisible. It's like you're thinking that success is not for you, only for others, right? And this is again just a feeling, right? That because you think there's nothing is moving, nothing is going on. But what you don't understand, what you don't realize, everybody who has been in the success, they came from this feeling, right? It's about how you overcome that feeling, in which I'm gonna explain you after this. So if you have the feeling, right, that you think that nothing is moving, it's just a perspective. It's because you have a certain expectation, but what you don't see is what you have learned, the progress that you have made. There is a lot of wins on it, right? But you are looking just on a different direction. If you look on the direction of your progress from you when you started, and your situation now, what you have gained from the day that you have started, there's a lot of things, but you never look on that. So you think that no, it's not working. There's a saying, right? It's like, the deeper the roots, the higher is the tree, and the sweeter are the fruits. So it's just like a seed. Before it's gonna pop out, it's gonna prepare. It's gonna do all this, it's gonna spread its roots, right? The deeper the roots is, this is very essential if you understand that once you are on a struggle, once you are on a situation that you think nothing is working, but you still overcome it, that's a mindset thing. There's a huge growth on it. If you just keep on going on, there's a lot of lessons to be learned on that journey. And actually, that is that lesson that makes people more successful. Nothing about strategy. Strategy comes after. The strategy comes later, right? But overcoming all these obstacles is the most powerful thing. Why 1% only on this industry is having success, because they overcome the struggle. So if you think that you feel like you're invisible, again, don't see it as a negative thing, right? It's a scarcity loop which makes you feel like the success is only made for others. It is especially made for you. It's just how you see it. So how to break free? The first tool that you will need, is the most important of all, is your awareness, mindfulness. This will be your force that will break you free from this 7 scarcity loop. Okay, so number one shift that you have to do is gratitude. You need to find gratitude on yourself, in your life. This is how you transform from being in scarcity, feeling that you think that you are feeling in struggling, but in reality you are already abundant. Okay, this is our natural state. So what is gratitude is, first, be thankful on the things that you have, right? Be thankful. First is, when you wake up in the morning, be thankful for your life. Be thankful of all the small things that you have, that you can pay your bills, that you have food to eat, you have roof under the table, you have access to the internet, which you have access to billions of people, you have a program, right? Or you have the skills. There are all of the tools that you have. You have a phone, you have a laptop, or there are so many things, right? You're breathing. You need to acknowledge that. You have skills that you have learned along the way. The moment, the day, instead of looking ahead on your goal, right? Look what you have gained from the moment that you started. Be thankful of that. From every action, before you go to sleep, write down, what have you learned this day? What are you thankful of? Write 5 things in a paper, right? You journal, and then write what things have you learned? How many conversations did you had? What have you learned from this conversation? How many connection you had? Which is an opportunity. Maybe you can collaborate, right? Or maybe they can help you promote your stuff. There are so many ways to be thankful of. So first, you need to have gratitude in your life, because once you have gratitude in your life, you see what you are thankful of on the things that you have, then your fear will drop. Then you will see that you're not really struggling. You're just, the struggle that you think that you have is an idea, and then you just put more attention on that struggle, because you have an expectation that you think that you didn't have met, or you didn't have met yet at that moment, but you exaggerate that because you're focused on that, and then you mislook that there are so many things that you are thankful of. You have all the tools to be successful, right? But you have to use the tools. You need to put your attention on your tools. And number one is your awareness, your mindfulness, right? Gratitude. And then you expand. You look at those tools, what you can use to be successful. Okay, so number 2, visualization. So with visualization, you just use your imagination. Imagine you're already successful. Think of those things that you want to achieve. Visualize it. This is very important, because you need to put that in your subconscious mind. You need to have that feeling to feel that motivated, because once you have that desire, that imagination, it means that it is actually somehow present already, right? It just has to manifest, right? You need to see everything that's been created in this world. This technology came from an idea and then manifested. So you need to visualize, be very specific about your dream, about your goal, right? Because by being more specific about it, then you will have a clear vision on what you want, right? So instead of focusing on what you don't have yet, right, focus on that imagination, and we're gonna start to merge it from your identity. Okay, so here comes number 3. Once you visualize your goal, feel it, put emotion to it, involve how many people will be will have a good life once you achieve your goal? How many people will you be helping in your family, your kids, or your contribution to this world, purpose? All of that needs to be included in your vision, in your imagination. Visualize that, because that will boost your your motivation, I'm telling you. And then number 3 is identity reset. Now what we are going to do is, from this vision that you have, right, you gonna act that you are already on that vision. You are going to act on a version of you who is already living on that vision that you have, the one that you visualize. You will embody yourself from that vision. Why is this important? Is because in that way you will change your identity. That will be your new identity. You're gonna remove those scarcity identity, because that identity put you on the situation where you're at. It's time to transform that. And the reason it is very important to act on that version of you is because from that point, from that space of your future self, you will think differently. Your behavior will change. You will act like you are already successful, right? Because of that, you will remove all those fear, even though it contradicts on your life situation, right? But your response on your problem will be solved from a version who is already been successful. So this is why it is very important to keep on visualizing about who you are, right? Observe successful people. How do they behave? How do they think? What are their habits, right? Because if you are on scarcity habit, if you have that identity of scarcity, what a lot of people, they drink alcohol, they use drugs, they do all those vices to cover up all the pains. Unlike successful people, they eat healthy, they do exercise, they have a different habit. They don't waste time on just watching Netflix and playing games. They invest on themselves, they interact with people who are already successful, they grow, right? It is a different mindset. So if you have a problem, instead of you reacting from a problem, if you act from a version who is already been successful, you will not be reacting anymore out of emotion. You will be responding. You will be solving problems. Whatever problem you will be encountering, you will start finding solution for it, because a scarcity mindset will always have problem in every solution. A successful mindset will have a solution on every problem, right? And that is how you grow. So if you are acting on a version who has already been successful, you will never see a problem. You will see that as a lesson, as an opportunity to learn, right? So every problem, every struggle is a stepping stone for you to grow, right? And this knowledge that you gain from growing is what you teach to other people. And this is how you monetize your business, for example. This is how you get trust from people. This is how you provide value to others. Okay, so this is the trading. So number 1, how to break free, you need to have is gratitude, visualization, and mindset, identity reset, and all for using your awareness, right? So if this hits you, if this is something you think is valuable, I have a free community. It's called Mindful Growth Maven. It's free to join. Once you join, you will also get a scarcity identity quiz, right? It's a guide with quiz, and then you can just answer, so you can see what place are you on the scarcity level. What are you struggling with? Is it overthinking? Is it fear of judgment? There are all different kind of scarcity problems that you're having. It's a quiz, and then I will also inside that guide, that quiz shows you how to break free from that. And also there's a mindset reset guide on it. And inside the community, I share you these things, right? I also have the resources, what I used, how I monetized my business, how I reached my first 10K in 4 months time when I was struggling. And it's called the Legacy Builders. It's a done for you program. It is where I learned about this mindset, this identity, which we call inside the program the CEO mindset. And this is actually that changed everything for me in my life. We have 56,000 members inside that community, in that program on the Legacy Builders. The resource is there if you want to join on that one. There's also some webinars. See if that fits for you. If you don't have any offer yet, right? But inside my community, that is free, and I share you all this kind of stuff. Just go there inside, and then I'll see you inside. Okay. So I will also put in on the comments for the invite, for the address, how to go to that community, and hope to see you there. All right. Peace.